might be only capable of, say, 4 or 8 notes at a time. We could spend the whole program looking at the other neat things that this machine can do, but it's 10 years old and there are a lot more tricks on the scene.
Essentially, instead of using a simple waveform like a sine wave or a sawtooth waveform, they're using longer waveforms and more actual sounds, actual instrument sounds as waveforms. So for example, instead of using a sine wave as in a DX7, you use a piano waveform to simulate a piano, rather than using a whole bunch of sine waves and try to recreate a piano from them. So these machines sound more realistic. And we did sax. It's a sound where I'm manipulating how fast the breath would actually come in. And this is done very simply by stacking 2 waveforms, and I can say, well, the breath will come in here, or again, I can manipulate it on a velocity after touch, any performance function like that, or modulation. A lot of these sounds are also treated with effects, as in signal processing. Now, it used to be that you had to buy a signal processor and stick it on the end of the keyboard. That signal processing is built right into the keyboard. And you can, in fact, change the parameters or the settings on that signal processor in the keyboard and make that part of the sound. Again, this is pretty much a reproduction of the guitar. There's not much in there. You could, by squeezing the keyboard, you get a bit of vibrato. So if you squeeze it, you get that vibrato in a string, and that's called aftertouch, and that's present in most of the keyboards over, say, $1,000. That's a feature that's sort of common. Also, you have the pitch bend, so you can bend the pitch of the sound manually. Organ sounds. I'll do that one. Drum sounds as well. And you can put all these together.
You did that very well.
Here's what happens when you take a 1-second hunk of squiggly waveform and sample it. It's the equivalent of graphing a piece of sound and then choosing a scale and writing out all of the numbers that would let you recreate the squiggle. The more samples you take over a given time period, the better image you can recreate. If some waveform subtlety occurs between your sample periods, you missed it. In digital electronics, this is called you snooze, you lose. Digitally sampling sound with good fidelity creates an astounding stream of numbers. That's why a compact disc can either hold 1 hour of music or every book ever written. Recreating the samples from a compact disc is done at the exact same speed that the samples were taken. If the samples were recreated at a different speed, the pitch of the music would be different.
One of the most exciting technologies to have emerged in the last few years has been the sampling technology, which essentially puts a tape recorder within the keyboard, where you can record any sound and manipulate it by striking the keys. So you can take a sound of a pen striking a glass, and that will give you one particular tone, and by playing it higher or lower, it'll go up or down in pitch. So that's how you would then transfer that into a musical context and make a song out of it, or use it along with other real instruments to create a new sound, or a sound that people have not heard. Now I'm going to try to just record something and show you how you can manipulate it on the keyboard. We can set up how long we're going to record the set for. We can say 1 second, 2 seconds. So I'm going to use about 1 second here. Blah. This is going to be great. Ha ha ha.